Hello everybody, and welcome to my little somewhat impromptu live for the day. Really happy to be here with you, and I've got some materials from the Autumn Glow kit ready to go. So here's what went down. The other day, Julie sent me an image of a really fun card that she saw, and she said, I think that would really make a nice formula. And I said, I completely agree. So she recreated the card and guessed on what measurements would work the best and sent me those measurements, which I then took to my little graph paper and I started drawing some ideas out for how we could create this formula efficiently and make it quick and easy for you. And I think we succeeded. So thank you, Julie, for the idea. And I did steal away those moments that I needed in order to make that formula happen. So I'm glad I had a chance to do that as well. It's pretty busy around here. With everything going on, with shipping day is tomorrow, and Beth is working really hard in the warehouse to make sure your orders are packed, picked, checked, and ready to go. And Deb's got all those boxes piled up and filled with kits. So it's an exciting time for us, but I thought it would be fun to see you this week. This will be the only day I think you'll see me this week, and I want to share this fun formula with you. So I'm going to just go over to my desktop here, and you can see kind of how my cameras are situated here, and this is what I'm seeing. And I'll set this aside. I have my laptop sitting here too because I want to make sure I can see some of your comments and welcome you. Yes, Julie, what a team we have, right? So I've got my trimmer here and some papers selected, and I do have this formula. Now, Karen helped put together a blog post where you can go on our blog. Did you know we have a blog? And you can download this formula. So if you are new to Club Scrap or you're new to us completely and you have no idea what I'm talking about, our formulas tell you what you need to gather, in some cases just from your stash, and then we help you transform that into cards or pages with as little wasted material as possible. So I've got your steps here all guided out. So it's not just, hey, here's a fun sketch. This is exactly how you're going to trim the papers in order to recreate a card exactly as you see it. It doesn't have to be exact. You can do whatever you want with it, but that's the whole idea behind what we're doing here today. So for the papers that I've gathered, these are two prints from our beautiful brand new shipping tomorrow Autumn Glow kit. I have the large leaf print and the small leaf print. Now I also want to point out that we do release text weight prints too, and the cover weight prints are needed for this particular project because part of this paper is going to become the base of two cards. Okay, then to complement that, I also have an ivory plain. It's nice, super smooth, beautiful ivory stock, and then this plum. These are also from the Autumn Glow collection. So I'm going to begin with these prints, and I usually like to have the instructions on my right and the prints on the left. And yes, you can follow along without the written instructions, but it's just kind of nice to have them for future use. The idea is here that you would recycle them with maybe more things that you already own. So, I see Karen's sharing the link. Thank you for doing that, Karen. Okay. Oh, and before I get started, I should probably show you the card. Okay. So these are the 4 cards we're going to make together. I'm not sure how far I'll get with them today, but I'll walk you through my process. And you can see that there's like 2 blocked areas. I'm calling this the double block formula, not the double Bach. For you brewery drinkers out there, it's the double block formula and has 1 short and 1 narrow area. Now here's the thing that happens when you have these panels like this, is that the measurements required when you create a panel, like a double panel on a card base like this, is you end up venturing out into the world of 1/8 inches. That's my fair warning to you. You're going to have to figure out your 1/8 inches. I'll try to give you some tips for that as well as we go along. Okay, so grain direction. There is an arrow on this sketch too. We need to make sure that the grain of the paper is dipping easily from left to right. So when I do that, I'm just going to check. Yeah, I think I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to do it a little differently. Let's see, the darker side on this side is going to become the card base. The brighter side will be the panels that end up on the front of the card. That's how I'm going to do it. And so even if you put the paper in your trimmer, it should look like this when it bends most easily. And then since both pieces will be trimmed at the same time, I'm going to check this print as well and look at here. I'm going to maybe do this side this side's going to become my card panels. So oftentimes I'll look at the sketch and say, oh, I can see where this is headed. These are going to become panels. This is going to be a card base. So I can see where we're going. So I'll stack both sheets neatly together. Grain is dipping this way. And right out of the gates, you get a super duper fun number. It's 11 7/8. Ah, I know. So halfway, or way over here, halfway between, and I'm going to get a little closer for you, halfway between the 11 3/4 and the 12, you're going to find the 11 7/8. How's everybody doing so far? It's just going to take off that teeny tiny piece. Then 9 3/4. So that's 9 plus 1, 2, 3 columns to the left on your trimmer. I love this trimmer, by the way. And then 8 1/2. Now with these prints especially, it's really important that when you find your 8 1/2, you push down firmly on this clear bar so that the paper doesn't wiggle at all. And I do like to stand up when I'm trimming. How many of you like to stand when you're crafting? I'm definitely a stander. Now I took that 8 1/2 by 11, or 8 1/2 by 12 rather, that we just made, and rotating it horizontally. And then I'll trim at 11 and then trim at 5 1/2. All right, so you just made 2 card bases, and when they get folded in half, they're going to be folding with the grain of the paper. That's why we thought about that at the beginning. I'm going to set aside these card panels and score them in a minute. Then you had 2 little pieces that fell off the edge. I'll switch back to my wide view here. These are going to be scraps. I'll set those aside. Then you have this long, narrow strip here. I'm going to take this. I know it's just a little awkward to cut these narrow pieces, but we'll trim at 9 1/2. So looking up here, stabilize by pushing down, and then 4 3/4. Okay, now you just made all the narrow strips for your cards. 2 of this darker tone and 2 in the brighter tone. I always stand when I'm trimming and scoring. I'm short, I need the height to see everything. Yeah, that's me too, Pam. There are also 2 little pieces here that I'm going to set aside in my scrap pile. Like I said, I try to minimize the scraps. Okay, now I have this other long piece, and we get to do the same measurements that we just did again. So 9 1/2. And 4 3/4. Okay, so you'll notice we only had one awkward measurement at 11 7/8, and now we have the panel sizes that we needed for our cards. So let's take these and set them aside. And now we're going to grab the paper C and D. Now with these 2 papers, they are not going to be folded, so the grain direction of our positioning does not matter. They can just go into the trimmer any old way. Oh, I suppose I should mention there's a little scrap here in that really narrow 1/8 inch strip there. Okay, so putting these in the trimmer here together, ooh, I have another fun little measurement for you. And this is, I'm going to explain why. I'm going to take a second and explain this because I think it's kind of cool. Let me go in here. All right, do you see that the sentiment is matted and how narrow the mat is? That's where why we're gonna trim at some of these 5/8, 7/8, that kind of thing. You like me zoomed in? Okay, I'll stay zoomed in. That is why we're gonna do that. Now here I've got an 1/8 inch reveal, and here I have that 1/16 inch reveal. So that's why we're gonna be incorporating some more of those 1/8 inch measurements. Just want to give you a heads up. Okay, so 9 7/8. They're going to find that halfway between 9 3/4 and 10. You've got 9 7/8. And then I've got 8 3/4. So a nice easy one for you there. 8 3/4. 7 3/4. And 4. Now notice that I'm letting that paper land to the right of my trimmer blade, and I'm not moving it. Did I say 4? I trimmed at 4. So everything else just piles up here. Don't move it out of the way every time so that we lose track of it. Now the piece in the trimmer, I'm going to rotate it. This right now is 4 by 12, and I'm going to cut it at 10 1/2 and 5 1/4. Okay, you just made 4 panels for your 4 cards. I'll set those right there. And then this little piece that fell from the end is a scrap, so I'll add it to my scrap pile that I have going over there. And then I'm going to pick up the next strip. And let's trim this one at 10 and 5. and you just made 4 more panels. Okay, so there's this whole conversation going on about how tall someone is. Okay, these will nest with each other. So let me just quick show you. So you've got the ones we made first and then the ones we made second. You got a nice little mat going on. Okay, I'm gonna set these aside together, and then there is a small rectangle that fell from the end that is a scrap. So I'll set that on my scrap pile. The very next strip, there's a small difference between this one and the other one. So let's just double check. This one should be 1 inch when we start trimming this. That's okay, Pam. I'm glad you guys are having fun and getting along, right? That's so fun. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not missing any, really relevant comments. Okay, so this is 1 by 12. We're going to trim at 11.5, and then I'm going to just thrill you with some of these other numbers I'm throwing out here. 8 5/8. All right, so there's 8, 8 1/4, 8 1/2. Now halfway between 8 1/2 and 8 3/4 is 8 5/8. Okay, then 5 3/4. Now let me just also say this piece is so narrow that if you want to bring it down here, if you feel that you could see better, I'm resting the top edge of the paper along the bottom edge of the inch mark here. So that's totally your call. Again, this is 5 3/4. Now one more, just bear with me. 2 7/8. So that's halfway between 2 3/4 and 3. You're going to find the medium size line. That's 2 7/8. Okay, so I'm going to grab all these little pieces here. You're going to find 4. It's way more than you need, I'm just saying. And then this itty bitty piece, that's a scrap right there. Sometimes when I'm teaching a live class, I say, okay, now we're going to trim this in half. Just kidding. Okay, so these 4 pieces are going to become panels. These are the smaller of the 2 panels. Okay, then you have 2 more strips. These should be slightly larger. They're going to be 1 1/8 inches wide, okay? And I have super easy. You're going to love these cuts. All right, it's 9, 6, and 3. That was easy, right? 9, 6, and 3. And so all of these panels will be nesting behind the ones you just made earlier, okay? So I'm going to set those aside. This, my friends, I'm sorry to tell you, is also a scrap. So I'm going to set that aside. I can get rid of my trimmer right now, and I'm going to exchange that for my score pal. Bring him in. If you don't have a score pal, it's kind of one of those things you really need to have. However, in this case, it's not completely 100% necessary because we did trim this paper with the grain and we're just folding it in half, but I do really like to have a score on my card bases. So I'm going to place this horizontally into my score pal. There's an asterisk at the most commonly used measurement here in scoring land. It's 4 1/4. It's got a little asterisk there. So I tend to use my metal tipped stylus when I'm scoring because I just feel like it makes a nice line there. 4 1/4 each one. Okay, now you can exit the score pal, enter the bone folder, and we also have this beautiful, I found this ergonomic, I call it the ergonomic bone folder. It's one of my new favorites. I do have one model prior to this that I really liked, but I think this is my new favorite bone folder. And I'm going to fold my cards in half. Notice that the paper was right side up in the score pal when I was scoring it, and that's what you're looking to do so that the bump of the score line is on the inside of your fold and the divot is on the right side of the paper. Need a score pal. Yes, Karen, thank you for sharing that link. Okay, now here I have my card bases, and you can just position these however you like. And this is the phase of the operation that I call the deal. I mean, that's just so pretty. I don't want to cover any of this, to be honest with you. But, such is what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to go that way. That's so pretty, too. All right, the back, you'll be able to see. It's the front you won't be able to see. Okay, now I can distribute my larger 4 card panels. So purple, purple, ivory, ivory. And then I'm going to alternate with the next set of slightly smaller panels. We'll go ivory, ivory, and it really should have called it plum, plum, and plum. Okay, remember, we had those narrow panels that I set aside. And according to our diagram, they go on the left, but they really could go on either side. And there's some random text on some of these prints, so you might want to just orient the text so it's facing right side up. Sometimes it's facing both directions, just so that the print can go anywhere. And then for your last editions, choose the opposite print. Oh, that's so lovely. This will be darker here, darker and brighter. See how this is coming together? I mean, it's just so cool. Now, I have these 2 sets of strips, and like I said, you're gonna get a lot more than you need. I only need 4 of each, but I really wanted to have one cutting map. So in one case, Karen made a version of this, which I'll show you in a minute, where she used them all, but she used some on the inside and reversed them. In this case, I'm taking the larger ones, and I'm gonna put the darker color of the large. So if you're choosing your paper, just be mindful that if you want to stamp directly onto one of the papers, and they're both dark, you're gonna need some brighter or like a white ink. Or if you want, in this case, I wanted to stamp it all in my earth colored ink. So now I'm grabbing from the narrower ones, and I will place the ivory on top. And then if I wanted to, I could nest the remaining purple onto the ivory, and I could have done that on the outside or on the inside. Inside wouldn't make much sense because the card base itself is white. So all that to say, you've got double the amount of nestables for your card that you want. So I don't know how long we've been at this. It's 12:17. So in 17 minutes, working relatively slowly because I'm explaining as I'm going, I now have the framework for 4 beautiful cards all ready to go. Next step, I'm going to grab the Autumn Glow stamps. Now I know nobody has these stamps yet because the shipment goes out tomorrow, which is October 1st. That's when everything starts leaving the warehouse, but I still think it's kind of fun to anticipate what you'll be able to do. And so I am going to, I always use my positioning tool to stamp because I want to have two chances to get it right. So I went with the sentiment in here that says, "May your days be golden." So I'm just gonna place that right here on that little guy. I hope you can all see okay. Okay, I'm just making sure we're still live. And then I'll pick up that sentiment and bring it back. Now I'm coming in with the earth ink. And usually, especially the first time I stamp a sentiment, I usually go twice just to get it nice and rich. And then I'm going to give it another topper. Oh, that's lovely. May your days be golden. I guess we'll just go with it. You're okay if I just go ahead and continue on, right? And make all 4? Because I'm either going to do it now with you or I'm going to have to do it after I sign off, because I'm trying to make sure I finish the projects I start before I move on so that I don't have the frustration of not having something completed and it just sits there in pieces. And oh, trust me, I have piles of projects sitting in pieces. Anyone else? I'm guessing I'm not alone in that. Okay, one more. And then I'm going to show you what I did, I think, for the inside too, because this is has an innie and an outie sentiment. So you know about pops, right? Those are the pack of panels that we have. It's a ½ pound of our coordinating papers. Okay, now I got all these stamped. I'm going to go grab my pops. Let's see, where did I put those, you think? Anyone? Aha! Pardon me while I walk over to my pop pile. So this is a pack of panels, and this is where these come in really, really handy. I'm just going to grab the light orange color here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to grab my trimmer because I think they're not going to be the right size. What I'm looking for here is the scale of whatever the width is. So the width is 4. That means my length needs to be 5 1/4. I'm just going to try cutting all 4. Perfect. Okay. I cut them at 5 1/4. So now I have 4 by 5 1/4 inch panels. I'll say that one more time. I have 4 by 5 1/4 inch panels. And now I'm going to put this in my positioner. It's all is still available. Okay. Let's see. The second half of the sentiment is, and full of wonder. So may your days be golden will be on the outside and full of wonder on the inside. And as long as I'm here, I think I'm going to add this sweet little leaf down at the bottom. Okay. And then with the grid on here, I can kind of tell if this is level, and it is. Okay. So now I'm going to get these all inked up. Same color. This is the earth ink. My pad's a little on the dry side. Note to self. Oh, isn't that pretty? Okay, I'll quick pop these in here because, as I said, I don't want an unfinished project when I sign off on this. I want it to be done. So just gentle downward pressure. And I noticed I missed the R a little bit, so I'll just grab that. That's why I love to use this tool. It doesn't take much longer, and my success with the positioner is guaranteed. All right. Looks like maybe stamp. Oh, the stamp was sold out when you tried to place an order, Chris. Oh, we got stamps for you. It's just an inventory thing. So the membership is guaranteed delivery of their stamps with the membership, and then overages are added to our website for individual purchase. Oftentimes we don't know exactly the number we're allowed or able to put into our cart for sale. So we start out with an initial number, and then we refine that once we know all of the members who've subscribed to the stamps, because you can subscribe to these, that those numbers are met. So that's your guarantee as a member, that you will get it. But I will tell you right now, you will be able to get your stamps, your stamp order placed. And I'm guessing Julie's hot on it for you. So wasn't that quick and easy? So fun. All right, now the other part here is, I'm gonna bring my cards back. Oh, I ran away with my adhesive. I gotta grab that again. Okay, so we have all these innies are done. And adhering, okay, I know I probably talk a lot about adhesive, but if you're not yet using something like this, that's totally fine. We do carry this adhesive gun, but I do really like it because it makes the assembly portion or the adhering portion economical and time effective, okay? I teach a lot of live classes where there are different types of adhesives involved in this process. And sometimes it might be something where you're removing a tab from the back of an adhesive square, or you're, and I love certain adhesives for certain things, but like, what is it? It's like a tape that has a backing that you have to poke and take off, and it comes in a roll or a strip. Some people love that, and we all have kind of our personal taste when it comes to different types of adhesive, but definitely some are faster than others. So if efficiency is important to you, like for me, I really have to get a lot done in a day's time. So I just like to know that what I'm working with is going to give me the most efficiency and economy too, right? Whereas the value is really great there. So as I'm working, I just want to point out too that I'm doing various tasks in batches. So you'll see that as I'm going along here. I'm eyeballing things because it's a nice tight margin. So now I'm working in this batch of 2 now. I started out working with all 4 of the sentiments. But you see how quickly this can go? And it's not, I wasn't doing everything quickly, I realize. But if I'm going to crank out some cards, I want to crank out some cards. Now in my picture, on the instructions, you can see this is aligned left. You can align this however you want. Like if you wanted it to be a horizontal card, you could go like this, or maybe like that would be really sweet. Cover the gap between the two, so beautiful. In this case, I'm going to align it with the left edge of the plum panel. Okay, flip. I'll grab this last and final panel, and then I'm also going to place the adhesive on the back of 2 of my innie panels. Again, those were taken from the pops. Okay, gotta make sure that you can see what I'm doing, that I'm in the frame. Okay. I mean, seriously, that's so sweet. Open. And so how long are we into our 4-card extravaganza now? 26 minutes, including my hello. So not bad, right? Okay, I'll just quick crank out these last 2 with you, and then I'm going to show you some of the cool variations that, I mean, I think that Karen and I were both pretty excited about the formula, and we both wanted to try it like ASAP. So that's what we did. I guess maybe it might be a little early on those sentiments. Sometimes I like to go vertical on these. Okay. Do you ever have a sheet of plain paper of a certain color and it's plain on both sides, but you still turn it over to put the adhesive on it? I do that all the time. Okay. Then I'm going to add the ivory. And perhaps too, you're noticing when I'm applying the adhesive that I'm just putting a strip across the bottom of the panel and a strip across the top, like this. I don't need to do an X and then this way and then every which way. It's plenty strong. Oh, I'm going to do it so the narrow is on the left. It's plenty strong to only need one at the top and bottom. I mean, now if it's a much larger piece, then yeah. Then I go a few more spots. Okay, and then I can open these cards. Okay, it's so true, Julie. As soon as you see a formula, you got to try it. Yes, that is how I am. In fact, I'm full on working on formulas right now. So anyone who's in maybe the Midwestern states, well, it doesn't really matter where you are. We are hosting just the workshops at a camp at Silver Birch Ranch. And the second week of camp still has some seats. So if you're wanting to get away the weekend before Thanksgiving, come and join us. Now, I'm just going to mention here that I have these ancient, I mean, I think I bought these in the 90s. So I punched some leaves. I'm not going to do that part right now, but I did add some sweet little leaves from punches that I had. Maybe you have a leaf die, or I was even thinking last night when I wasn't sleeping that before I added this sentiment, I could take this panel and run it through an embossing die to add some texture. That would be really fun, right? Okay, now I have 8 gorgeous fall themed cards. I can just write the word happy birthday in here if I wish, or add a stamped happy birthday. Is there one on this one? Yes, happy birthday can be added to this as well. And I could have stamped all, excuse me, I could have stamped all 3 of those sentiments at the same time, right? Oh, Pam, you're confirmed for week 2. I get to see your eyeballs. I'm so excited. Yay. All right, so this is with the gorgeous Autumn Glow collection, not Autumn Haze, it's Autumn Glow. But let me show you what Karen did. She took the beautiful Tenetian Tiles stamp set, and we have some really cool sentiments on this sheet. And I love the font is actually like, it's a Portuguese font. This is, if you've been to Portugal, this is what you see everywhere, this typeset. I like you just the way you are. This is a card, kind of like texting, but more papery. Wishing you the happiest of days. Just checking in. Here's a sympathy. And then the innie, one beautiful life celebrated today, remembered always and loved forever. And then here for the just checking in, you have an innie that says, I'm not sure I have the right words. Just know I'm thinking of you. And I just love how tiny and understated it is. And the cool part is that every single one of these sentiments, with one exception, 2 exceptions, fits on this size of the sentiment. So Karen chose just checking in. And then look what she did with some of the leftovers, because you do have assorted scraps, right? So she made cute little banners, and then this is a card, kind of like texting, but more papery. And she could have also chosen, I like you just the way you are, but she was using a positioning tool and just cranked out all 4 cards, and then she added this sweet little wood tile button that is also part of the Tenetian tiles options that we have in the store. Beautiful, right? Then I know Christmas is coming, so I took the Boughs of Joy stamp set. Oh, this is such a beauty. I love this one. Perfect sentiments for this. We got the Merry Christmas fits, wishing you many blessings and peace, all fit. And I chose red and brown with both of the Christmas prints from the Boughs of Joy kit. And so beautiful. Now this time I took my slot punch. I'm not sure if you have a slot punch, but I use mine all the time. Threaded it with some ribbon that I had in my stash. I think it was from Tenetian Tiles actually. Wrapped it around the back. And yeah, oh, I see, Chris, your daughter is in Portugal right now. You're making the waterfall album. Oh, she's going to love it. And when she sees it, she's going to say, oh, Mom, this is perfect. And then on the inside, what's cool too about this stamp set is that the wreath here, these images all fit inside the wreath. I don't know about this one, but I know that all 5 of these fit inside the wreath. So wreath and then the sentiment on all 4 of these gorgeous holiday cards. Okay, one more. This was the first one. Karen ran to try. She's like, I got to do that in toile. I'm like, yes, toile. We have tons of sentiments on here that will fit on perfectly as well. So, and the dark blue print and the light blue print. So look at this, how that happy birthday fits in there and how just elegant this is. Hi Karen, welcome. I'm glad you made it at the end. Then the sweet. This is where Karen went to the opposite, reversed the little pieces for the inside. You look fantastic for someone born in the 1900s. Well, that's me. Okay, many thanks. Here we have a thank you. You are as amazing as a dress with pockets on the inside of those. So the sentiments don't all have to be the same, which is kind of cool. Okay. Back with my Command Central here. Hi again. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm not sure how many people are here, but thank you. I'm so glad you're here and spent a little bit of your day with me. How much of it was a little bit? 33 minutes of your day with me to make 4 really cool cards using this fun formula. And then to see all of that potential, I just think it's amazing. It's one little formula, but wow, we can do so much. Now, if you happen to have a stash of paper, anyone have a stash of paper? Go now, grab your formula, grab 4 sheets of paper, 2 prints, and 2 12 by 12 planes that all coordinate. And if you're getting your stuff from Club Scrap, the cardstock quality is going to be right there for you. And then the prints too, they need to be cardstock because they're going to become a card base, or you'll have to adapt something. And give this formula a try. It's a great way to exercise those 1/8 inch measuring muscles. And I think you're going to be really thrilled with the results. So I thank you again for coming, and I also thank my amazing team here at Club Scrap who just works so hard every month to deliver to you a beautiful collection. I hope you have a wonderful October, and don't forget to get started on